ìyá Festo nígbàna ó máa ń kọjá ayé ẹ̀ kan ilé ayé ẹ̀ tó bá tún fẹ́ lu voice mi Iyabo Ojo ọmọ bíbí inú Olúbùnmi Fẹ́túgà ní gbogbo ọ̀nà mi kì í ṣe ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ mi mic mi kọ́kọ́ lọ ṣe irú ohun tí mo ṣe yìí náà o ò lè máa fi ugly face kó máa fi mi mic mi fúrọ́ ẹ̀ ti bàjẹ́ ìwọ tí Boris fúrọ́ ẹ̀ ti bàjẹ́ o ò lè máa mi mic mi ìwọ rape product o lè mimic mi ìwọ tí màmá ẹ ya wèrè for good 30 years ó wrong fún ẹ láti mimic mi ìwọ tí bàbá ẹ mutí yó tí bàbá ẹ gba pátá nídìí ẹ àtẹjọ 4-5 ni bàbá ẹ ti ń rape ẹ ìyálàyà ẹ ò lè mimic mi tó bá fẹ́ mimic mi kọ́kọ́ bá mi ṣe rúnrún mo fẹ́ wo ẹjí sí.
Imagine waking up, opening Instagram, and the first thing you see is not a dance video, not a birthday post, not a good morning my fans post, but one Nollywood actress, Olókùta of Okuta Land, Ìyá Ìsìnkú of Federation, Olè Alájọṣómólú of social media, Gbẹ̀tàn of Nigeria airports, Onídòkúdò of bending roller waist, Òpùrọ́ of Àgbáyé, Olè of Orbita Ashana. At that point, you already know that this is not just a normal celebrity drama, because this is not just beef, this is something deeper. And today we are talking about the ongoing drama between Iyabo Ojo and Liz Anjorin. If you've been following Nollywood online recently, you already know that this situation has been eating up for years. But the real question is, how did they even get here? Today on MomoTV, we are getting into everything. But before we talk about what's going on between them, let's go back to the beginning, because understanding where they all came from will help you understand where they are now. Let's start with Iyabo Ojo. Iyabo Ojo is one of the Nollywood biggest names. She has been active in the industry since the late 90s and has built one of the most powerful personal brands in Nollywood. But back then, it wasn't just about followers or social media presence. It was strictly about who could actually deliver on screen. Like most actors starting out, she didn't begin with big roles. Started small with background roles, minor appearance, just trying to find her place and prove that she could act. In those days, she was mostly seen in Yoruba Nollywood movies, which at that time, it is one of the biggest entry points in the industry. That was where she learned the game, how set works, how directors think, and how demanding acting can be when the cameras are rolling for real. She didn't rush the process. It was a gradual process, step by step, and over time, people started noticing her. Not because she was loud, but because she was consistent. She kept showing up, kept improving, and kept taking every role seriously. That consistency is what eventually pushed her from just another upcoming actress to someone people started recognizing on screen. From there, her career started gaining more momentum in Yoruba Nollywood film, and that became a breakthrough space before she expanded into bigger productions. And even now, she is still very active in the industry. In fact, one of her recent projects, Return of Arinzo, even made it into the cinema, showing just how far her career has evolved from those early background roles to now producing and steering in big screen projects. But what really stands out about her Nollywood background is this: she didn't skip the grind. She went through it. The small roles, the learning phase, the slow recognition, all of it. And that foundation is the big part of why she carries herself the way she does in the industry. Now let's talk about Lizzy Anjorin. Before the fame, before the attention, before all the online conversations, Lizzy's story was rooted in real hustle. She has openly spoken about coming from a tough background, where survival was the main focus, not luxury or comfort. That kind of upbringing shapes how people see the world, and in her case, it shaped her into someone that was very outspoken, very direct, and very emotionally expressive. When she came into Nollywood in the early 2000s, she didn't enter as a polished industry backstar. She entered like many others at the same time, trying to find her space in a very competitive Yoruba film industry. Back then, Yoruba Nollywood was already packed with talent, so getting noticed was not just easy, but Lizzy stood out in her own way. Not necessarily because she was the loudest on set, but because she brought out a very strong emotional presence to her roles. She played characters with intensity and passion, a kind of raw energy that made people pay attention. Over time, that helped her build recognition in the industry. But just like her personality outside the screen, her journey in the Nollywood was not quiet either. She has always been very open about her experiences, her struggles, her opinions about people and situations around her. And honestly, that is honesty and intensity, depending on who you ask, is a big part of what has kept her in the public eye over the years. But one thing about Lizzy, she doesn't hold things in. She says how she feels, clearly and sometimes loudly. Now here is where things start to shift, because in the industry like Nollywood, personalities are strong and emotions are even stronger. Clashes are almost inevitable. And over the years, the paths of Iyabo Ojo and Liz Anjorin began to cross more often. At first, it wasn't anything serious, just industry interaction, small comments here and there, indirect posts, misunderstandings that never fully get cleared. But in situations like this, the problem is never the first incident. It is the build-up, because small issues that are not addressed don't disappear. They accumulate, and over time, they become something bigger than both people involved. And that's exactly what started happening here. The truth is, nobody can really point to one exact moment where everything started. There was no official beginning, no single incident everyone can agree on. Instead, it was just small things happening over time. Indirect posts, misunderstandings, online reactions, accusation, responses, silence that looked like shade, and replies that sounded like warning shots. At first, it looked normal, just typical celebrity misunderstanding. But the problem with situations like this, nothing really disappears. It just sits there, it builds, it grows quietly in the background, until one day it becomes too heavy to ignore, and before anyone realizes it, it is no longer just a small online drama anymore. It has turned into something much more bigger than both of them. Over the years, Liz Anjorin has accused Iyabo Ojo of several things, trying to damage her reputation, spreading rumors, and even interfering in her personal life. Now, whether those claims are true or not, that's not even the main focus here. Because the truth is, in situations like this, it is not always by proving who is right or who is wrong. What matters is the tension that has been there for long, and instead of fading away, it keeps coming back every time something new happens. Either a post, or a reaction, a comment, a live video, and just like that, the fire is back again, as if it never really went out. One interesting thing fans have noticed over time in this is that even conversations where Iyabo Ojo is not mentioned at all, Liz Anjorin somehow still brings her into the discussion, and it is not just once or twice. It has happened enough times for people online to start paying attention, and that's why questions began to circulate. Is this just a regular feud, or is there something deeper going on here? Because at this point, the pattern is becoming hard to ignore. Every time things seem like they have calmed down, something happens again.
Iyabo, you are just a failed idiot. You see, let me set the record straight. But before I set the record straight, hold on, listen to this.
DJ Splash from the street of Ikotu. I've not read this one. I just go back. You need to one.
You just go back from where? You just go back from where? That previous video, you confirmed that you were in Mohbad's house. You see, I don't want to waste my time. Iyabo Sori ìyàtọ̀ láàrin mi àti ẹ pọ̀ gan. Apààyàn ni ẹ́, èmi níṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́, olè ni ẹ́.
Either a statement, a reaction, or an indirect reference, and just like that, the conversation shifts back to these two names. Recently, things escalated again online. There were more call-outs, more reaction, more indirect posts flying back and forth, And just when people thought things has calmed down, Liz Anjorin dropped another message that immediately got everyone talking. She said, "Believe Iyabo and Iyabo Ojo at your own risk." And just like that, the internet went into an overdrive because these statements don't just pass quietly. They spread, they spark reactions, they reopen old conversations, and suddenly, what looked like it was dying down felt active again. It felt like the tension between them was very much alive and very sensitive. In response, Iyabo Ojo did not go into a long online fight. She didn't start dropping rants or exchanging insults. Instead, during a live session, she simply said Lizzie needs help, and just like that, the internet picked it up immediately. Because in celebrity drama like this, sometimes it is not just the long explanations that go viral. It is the short statements, the calm delivery, the words said without emotion, and suddenly the one line became bigger than the conversation itself. Because in situations like this, what is not said often carries just as much weight as what is said. Then came the moment that really blew up online. Liz Anjorin went online and dropped series of Oriki Styles line that immediately caught their attention. She said, "Olokuta of Okuta land, the Adomala Shorun of Totohood, Iya Isikun of Federation, Ole Alajoshomolu of social media, Gbeitan of Nigeria airports, Onidokudo of bending roller waist, Opuro of Agbaye, Ole of all bitter Ashana." And just like that, the internet went into full chaos mode. People started reposting everywhere. Some were laughing, some were breaking it down line by line, some were turning it into memes within minutes, and others were simply watching the situation unfold like it was a movie. Because at that point, it stopped feeling like ordinary celebrity drama. It didn't feel like a typical online argument anymore. It started feeling like content, like entertainment, like something the internet was actively consuming in real time. Now, while everyone was beautifully waiting for the full reaction from Iyabo Ojo, guess what she did? She didn't post a rant, she didn't insult anybody, she didn't even mention Lizzie's name. Instead, she commented on the post with a sticker, and that alone was enough to get people talking again. Because in situations like this, even a sticker feels like a statement. But she didn't stop there. She also went ahead and posted a video promoting her movie. In that video, and she mimicked Lizzie's voice, facial expression, and mannerism. No direct mention, no explanation, just performance. And honestly, that was what made it even more controversial.
Guys, ṣé dáadáa ni mo bá yín kú sí mi ni. Lálẹ́ àná, ẹ wo nǹkan tí ìyá Festo nígbàná, ẹ wo nǹkan tó wá gbé sọ́dọ̀ mi. Àná lé ẹ̀yin tèmi. Ṣé rí ó ti pẹ́ tó ti máa ń ṣe orí burúkú ẹ̀yìn. Kí lẹ mọ̀ tó dùn Iyabo Ojo tó fi wá sí péjì mi lánàá. Fídíò ìyàwó Mohbad tí à ń tan ìmọ́lẹ̀ tá à ń try láti pe ìyàwó Mohbad sí àkíyèsí. Iyabo Ojo mọ̀ bá wà ní ìrọ́pọ̀. Iyabo Ojo ti jẹ́wọ́ wípé ọmọ bíbí inú òun wà nínú ilé Mohbad lọ́jọ́ tí Mohbad kú. Fídíò yẹn dùn Iyabo. So Iyabo Ojo wá sí péjì mi lálẹ́ àná. Ó fẹ́ distract mi. Mọ̀ irọ́ àdìyẹ.
Mo gbé o.
Wọ́n á ra mọ́tò fẹ́ mi o. Ṣé o rí pé mi ò bá yín ṣòṣì? Mi bá yín ṣèrànù. Jẹ́jẹ́ mi ni máa ń wà. Mi kọ́kọ́ wá fún mi. Orí mo bá lù àwọn ọmọ mi. Iyabo Ojo ọmọ Olúbùnmi fẹ́ túbà. Ọmọ ògúrú. Gbogbo àgbáyé ò mọ̀.
Ẹ gbà mí o, mo kú.
Iyabo Ojo ọmọ ìyá Festo ní cocaine. Ẹ̀mélòó ni mo pè é? Ẹ̀mẹ́ta. Gbogbo abiyamọ tí ò bá fẹ́ kí ọmọ òun hẹ́ndì bíi Mohbad kò gbọdọ̀ ní kankan bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe pọ̀. Mo bí tèmi mo fẹ́ rí wo mo sì máa di bísínẹ́sì mi. Mo bí ọmọ tèmi mo fẹ́ jẹun ọmọ ni mo ṣe ránṣẹ́ kí ni mo máa di bísínẹ́sì mi. Kò tíì sí i.
because instead of responding directly, she turned the entire situation into content, entertainment, marketing, and she subbed to all shades at once. And that was why fans immediately started calling them confused enemies, because at this point, the line between beef and content has become very blurry. And that's exactly what makes the whole situation so interesting. When you look closely at everything, both women are completely different in how they handle situations. Liz Anjorin is emotional and very direct. She reacts in real time, and if something happens, she addresses it immediately. No filter, no delay, no holding back. On the other hand, Iyabo Ojo is more calm and strategic. She doesn't rush to respond. She watches, she calculates, and whenever she eventually responds, it's often in a subtle way that still gets people talking.
Fíìmù wo ni Iyabo Ojo fún? Ẹ má gbàgbé wípé fíìmù Aristo yìí ó ní executive producer. Executive producer means àwọn tó gbé owó sílẹ̀. Iyabo Ojo was not the executive producer of that movie. Means wípé Iyabo Ojo kọ́ ló ní owó fíìmù Aristo. Iyabo Ojo kọ́. Iyabo Ojo kọ́. Means pé owó ẹ̀ kọ́ ló fi ṣe. Gbogbo production mi owó mi ni mo fi ṣe. Ogún mi ni mo fi ṣe. Gbogbo production mi kọ́tàkọ́tà ogún mi ni mo fi ṣe.
Lizzy reacts immediately, while Iyabo Ojo responds indirectly. And in today's social media world, both approaches work in different ways, because one drives instant attention, while the other shapes the perception over time. And that is why the whole situation keeps trending, because both styles, in their own way, keeps the conversations alive. So at the end of the day, the question is not really who started it or what is even going wrong. The real question is something deeper. Why does everything keep coming back again and again? Because every time it looks like the things are calming down, but something new happens, the cycle continues. Because one thing is clear, the situation between Iyabo Ojo and Liz Anjorin is not something that disappears easily. It keeps evolving, and it keeps coming back again and again, every single time, drawing attention. So at this point, it's safe to say that this drama is not ending anytime soon. And whenever it flares up again, one thing is certain, the internet will be watching. So what do you think about what has been going on? Is Liz Anjorin going too far with how she expresses herself online? Or is Iyabo Ojo simply playing a smarter and more strategic game behind the scenes? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I really want to hear your opinion on this. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe for more Nollywood breakdowns like this, because here we don't just watch Nollywood, we break it down. See you in our next video. Bye.